Hey, how's it going out there, folks? Welcome back here to a Wednesday night. It is the Earthmaster out here once again with an update video here on this July 9th, 2025 evening. It is 10 o'clock, straight up 10 o'clock p.m. Yeah, California time. Latest activity shows a 5.3 earthquake here, deep earthquake into the northern end of the Tonga Trench. We'll get to that here in a minute. I want to cover the Mount Rainier earthquake activity still, where we're obviously seeing a decent earthquake swarm being recorded here. Up at the summit area, not down there where we would expect magma to be occurring. So this is all associated with fluid movement that could potentially be activating faults there within the upper part of that volcano. 323 earthquakes here now being reported. And I just looked at the seismograph station here at Mount Rainier. This is the last 24 hours here, and as you can see, well, it's continuing there. Some of those earthquakes probably, let's see what they're being reported there from the USGS. Some of those look like they may be close to the 1.5 or 2 range. There's another one, 1.7. That's off of there a little bit to the west of Mount Rainier. So yeah, most of the quakes there well below the 2.0 range. And of course, you know, they probably haven't been able to locate every single earthquake out here. Yes, there's 300 listed on the USGS map and also the PNSN network, but I guarantee you, if we were to go back here and look at every single one of these spikes here and count them all, we would probably be closer to 600 or 700 earthquakes is what I'm guessing. But the USGS there, they have issues when it comes to exactly pinpointing where that earthquake struck within the volcano, the depth, and the correct magnitude. So a lot of these quakes, and they even admitted it there on their social media site, that they not able to count every single one of them. So as you can see, it's still ongoing out here. That when was that 1.7? That was today at 8 o'clock, so just a couple hours ago. That's going to be about 8 o'clock. This is going to be UTC time, I'm guessing. Well, wait a minute, what's going on here? 7:10. It's not quite 7:10 yet, so this is yeah, that's the UTC time, not Mountain Time, but the general time there. So 0430, which would probably match up right now, right? 055, it's 0500 right now. So that's right. The 2-pointer, or the 1.7, is going to be this quake right here, I believe. That would kind of match the time period there, about 2 hours or so ago. So as you can see, the majority of these definitely under that level. Looks like maybe there's a little bit bigger one up there. And this goes back, to last night time period as well. So this is just continuing, folks. I double-checked all the GPS stations out there. And they're still the same. There's no type of uplift or anything being observed there across this volcano. And anyone and everyone can go to this site here, the usgs.gov site, volcanoes, and look at any volcano out here and check out the information here for themselves. That's offline. I did not mean to do that. Where's the other one down here? This is another GPS station. Get off there. There we go. It's so annoying when it does that. Yeah, so this is, fairly current. August to February 25th, and obviously we're here in July. No sharp uptick, no inflation going on here at that volcano, and I'm going to keep an eye on it. This is a very similar swarm to what happened in 2009 there with I think they located 1,000 earthquakes up there in roughly the same area as the earthquake activity is going on right now across Mount Rainier, the upper area, not down below 5 miles or so where the magma is. And according to the USGS here, I was looking at their social media page, yeah, that magma chamber consists of about 30% molten material. 30% molten. So it's not even anywhere near close to getting, an eruption stage out here. There's no uplift. There's no magma migration. This is all fluid movement up at the summit area. And we'll continue to watch it, though, right? Definitely some interesting activity there when it strikes up at the volcano. And let's see if there's anything else here. Let's see if this seismograph station's active. No, it's not. A lot of them are, a lot of them's not. They're lots offline. That's offline. Okay, a lot of these are offline, but the ones that are working still showing that it's swarming, and with a recorded 305 earthquakes here. Technically in the last couple days up there at the Mount Rainier volcano. Beautiful volcano up there in Washington. I'd love to go up there and check that out. I bet you there's some neat looking trails that run around the area up there. All right, let's see. So backing out of there, everything else is pretty quiet there across the Cascadia for now. I do want to double check the Cascadia trimmer, see if there's anything going on there. Interestingly enough, well, there's a little bit mostly around the center coast here of Oregon. This is underneath the area to the Cascadia. Nothing going on up north here, but it's right there across that center portion. With 45 epicenters of tremor, not that big of a deal. No earthquake activity that I can see out there across the Cascadia for now. Northern California, though, has been hopping with earthquake activity here in the last 24 hours. Number of 2s and a number of 1s out there as well. The latest of 2.9 this morning. San Francisco, pretty quiet, aside from the Clear Lake, or the Clear Lake volcanic field up here. It's obviously a volcano, but this is not rumbling because of a volcano. This is geothermal operations that take place there, and it also stirs up earthquake activity. The San Andreas Fault here, just off the creeping section. A couple smaller earthquakes today. Nothing big. The Parkfield segment has gone quiet once again, except for down here across the southern end of the San Andreas Fault. 1.3 and a 1.4 today. A couple other 2s in the area as well. Nothing big going on here. Really nothing above 2.5 across the west coast. And the extreme southern end of the state. Looks like any given day, no unusual swarms down there for now. So just kind of keep an eye on that. One earthquake outside of San Diego today, 2.2. Up into Yellowstone National Park, nothing showing up there, but let's go double check that, see what's going on here. That super volcano. There's it looks like thunderstorms earlier this afternoon. It just always keys up. If you watch my videos, you'll see that I point that out every single early and late afternoon. That's what happens out there. They always show up on the seismograph stations. It's not magma movement. It is not, I repeat, not magma movement. Earthquake activity pretty much non-existent out there. Nothing going on across Yellowstone. Oil fields of Texas still rocking and rolling out there in the liquid gold fields. 2.2 early this morning around the New Madrid seismic zone. Guatemala is still seeing a bunch of earthquake activity down here, although it looks like the magnitudes here in terms of the level is roughly down in the 2 and 3 range, but it's still been quite active out there. I was kind of worried about maybe this was leading to something bigger, but we haven't really had any larger aftershocks in there, but we'll continue to watch out there around Guatemala area. Back over here across Japan, really nothing major showing up here on the map. We had a number of earthquakes out here, mainly this morning, about 3 or so in the morning till about 5. Was looking at the Japan agency here, the meteorological agency, shows the last quake literally 2 hours ago, just about 2 hours ago there for a 2.5. And if you look at the time frame over here, this is in the area of the earthquake swarm there, towards the southern end of the Nankai Trough. It's just a couple earthquakes there, maybe once an hour, and then it skips to once every couple hours. It really has not stirred up. Early this morning, though, we had a decent swarm about 2 o'clock this morning stir up here, but that's going to be my time, where there was probably a good 10, 15 earthquakes or so that stirred up the magnitude 2 and 3 range. So just kind of watching that. There's nothing new going on here. I don't see any newer quake activity, but it doesn't mean it's not going to come back around the bend here. It seems to work its way from north to south. And right now it looks like areas south here are getting quite a bit of earthquake activity. Tonga Trench southward into New Zealand with a number of 3s, another 4.7 up here. This one a little bit closer there to the Alpine Fault. Gotta watch that there, folks. That is really close there. And this area of the Alpine Fault has not had any big historical earthquake activity, but it's definitely capable of it. There's that 4.7 today. An earthquake up north earlier, it looks like. That's going to be, let's put this back to the newest first. So 4.7 down here, and then a deeper quake up north just literally minutes later. So definitely got some adjustment going on there. Got to watch the Alpine Fault. I've covered this numerous times here in my previous videos. Maybe we'll do a little bit lengthier video on the Alpine Fault possibilities and take a look at, you know, what's possible out here. There's definitely some concern here that this is getting ready for some large earthquake activity. It's just been a whole bunch of movement down south recently here, skipping this area, and then a lot of movement up north along the plate boundary. So eventually that's got to go. The question is when. Hawaii, I know I forgot to cover this morning, folks. Hawaii, and the eruption's actually over right now. But Kilauea Volcano had a spectacular eruption this morning there from one of the vents. The second vent here did not open up. Let me bring this up here, see if they got any photos here. That was from June 29th. So there's really nothing new, but it was, I guess it was fountaining all the way up to about 1,300 feet or so from one crater area. And that tells me, I'll explain that here in a second, but there's the eruption early this morning. It lasted for, I don't know, 7-8 hours, maybe 9 hours or so. Now we're starting to go back up. A rinse and repeat cycle there with the ongoing eruption and pause there across Kilauea Volcano. But looking here at the update, let's see here. Yeah, it ended abruptly at 1:20 p.m. after 9 hours of continuous fountaining. 1,200 feet there from one vent. Now, let's see here where they mention that. The south vent did not appear to activate at all during this episode and has been completely covered by new deposits. So this is where it gets interesting here, because this is something new at the Kilauea Volcano. In the last 28 episodes, we've always seen the north and south vent go. But now we're just down to one vent. So it's going to be interesting to see how this next one plays out in terms of the accumulation of magma and whether it will come sooner or maybe later, or we could just get a complete blockage down there where both of these vents are no longer active, and then we see a new area develop with an eruption. So we'll have to watch this closely. Let's watch and see how the inflation chart behaves here over the next several days. Again, right now we're just on the rise a little bit, but it would definitely be interesting. And it's more than likely, if that other vent stays closed, being pretty much sealed, so to speak, because of all the lava deposit on it, it could make these future eruptions even more spectacular just from that one vent. That's pending we don't get further blockage over the last one. So we'll watch that there with Kilauea Volcano. It's definitely interesting there. There's another earthquake down there across the Tonga area. Deep activity. Got a lot of deep activity in this area right now. 5.2 and a 4.8, 100 miles deep into that zone. The quiet region right now, very quiet, is around Papua New Guinea eastward here, right up to the Fiji Islands. And this has been quiet for a number of days. Those deep quakes, I guarantee you, putting a whole bunch of strain out here in this area as that plate makes the adjustment here to the west-northwest. So we'll see how this plays out overnight, but I would definitely keep an eye here on this area in the center portion. Japan could come back around the bend here as far as activity goes. We'll definitely watch that as well. For now, it's quiet, though. Pretty quiet conditions up there. Same for Alaska, pretty quiet. Let's see what else we got out here. Some deep activity there into the... this is underneath Argentina here. Super deep earthquake. 357 miles deep there into the Peru-Chile Trench, well underneath this land. Looks like one earthquake further away from the zone, a 4.3, but these deeper quakes, got to watch upstream here. That could be a sign that things might be getting ready to produce some larger earthquake activity around that Peru-Chile Trench there. Definitely a major subduction zone. An earthquake out there in the rift boundary of Africa, creating some new land. Well, eventually a new ocean out here, be separated. This is in the Tanzania area, 5.0 earlier this afternoon. One earthquake up here around the Santorini area of Greece, 4.6. So we better go check that out. See what's going on up there. We'll check out the geophysics site here from Greece. Today's date right here. Well, it's not Thursday yet here, but this goes to show you the time period. A couple of smaller earthquakes there. Let's go back to the previous day, see where that 4-pointer is. There it is. Beautiful signature. I don't see any major swarm kicking up there. Just a larger quake in the area. This is, minimal compared to what took place here a couple months ago, when there was like hundreds and hundreds of earthquakes striking out here of 3, 4, and 5 magnitude out here across the Santorini, Greece area. They thought the volcano was going to blow, but just a little bit of earthquake activity right now. Northern California got another earthquake here at the southern end of the Cascadia, a 1.9 being reported there. That's awesome because, well, most of the time it's normally 2.0 or above, but it does look like they're adding some of the smaller quakes now. Probably, I'm probably not the only one that mentions it here in the videos, and I'm sure I have quite a few USGS viewers. Yeah, it looks like they finally started reporting some of the smaller quakes out there. I wanted to see what it looked like here on the charts, on the graphs here, but they're not showing up. Either way, we still got earthquake activity down there across the southern end of the Cascadia. Let's see what else there is. Space weather activity. Got a fairly decent coronal hole here, number 63, but it does have more of a southward point with that high-speed solar wind stream. A little thin area right here, but I don't think that's going to do much once it's into the Earth-directed view. We'll have to wait 48 to 72 hours or so for the arrival of the high-speed solar wind stream, but I think it's going to be mainly pointed south of the Earth-Sun plane. There is a fairly decent sunspot, newly named 4136 here. That is not it. When was this? This is from what? 2022. What did they do there? You guys see that? Look at the date. May 1st, 2022. Somebody goofed up, and that's off of the SDO NASA site, the official site there. It's a little odd. Kevin's got... Yeah, because when you click on that, that should be the latest that takes you directly to that site. So I'm guessing we'll have to use this one. This was a little bit earlier, but it does show 4136 over here. Got some massive coverage area. Watch that for some flaring. I don't know if we got anything X-flare potential here, but maybe some C and maybe another M flare from 4136. But it's hard to tell. I don't have access to the newest model. This is from a number of years ago, back in May. That's really weird. All right, is that another earthquake over in Guatemala? They're reporting the 3-pointers down here. I'd kind of like that. I'm hoping one day they'll integrate the 3-pointer option here for the map on the USGS. If you go over here and look across their search catalog here, they only report for international communities here 4.5 and above. That's what it says. But occasionally, they throw a bunch of 3s in there, which is all right by me because I like the international awareness here. It's good to be able to have an option. I would love to see them, click up an option here where international or worldwide earthquakes down to 3.0 or so. That'd be pretty neat. But either way, still a lot of earthquake activity occurring around Guatemala. The seismograph stations here offline. The one I wanted to look at, the Petrolia one's offline. Japan, they're pretty quiet for now. So just kind of keep an eye on things here, folks. Earthquake swarm continuing up there in Mount Rainier. Latest one shows a 0.4. Very shallow earthquakes. But no inflation going on. When was this quake from? That's from this morning. Yeah, that's a little odd one back prior to the subduction zone. All right, real quick glance here at severe weather. Got some noise out there tonight for the Dakotas and in the Nebraska. No tornado threat. Looks to be mainly some wind and a little bit of hail threats there for the remainder of the night. For tomorrow, is going to be for Thursday in the daytime. Got a decent area over here across the same regions. It looks like a little 2% chance for some tornado activity in the green. Main threat again is going to be wind and a little bit of hail threat out there across the area. Really nothing major going on as far as the any hurricanes go. Just looking at this Gulf moisture map, everything looks pretty clear. I wish we were getting some moisture out here in California because it's going to be a hot one. We're talking about some major heat building out here for the next week or so. Massive high pressure down or up here across the Pacific Northwest, bringing some above temperatures, but mainly here in California, we're just going to be around 107, 108. And man, I hope it goes away, but looks like it wants to build back in here towards the end of July. So we'll just have to deal with it. I'm ready for spring actually, but we got to go through winter. I love springtime. Everything's green out here. Temperatures in the 60s and 70s, maybe some 80s, but that doesn't last long out here. We're always in the 100 range. And again, 107, 108 is in the forecast for the next 7 days for my area, which is in Northern California. All right, folks, we'll see you guys out here tomorrow for the Thursday morning update. I hope everyone has a wonderful evening, and just stay safe out there. A lot of crazy stuff going on in the world. Take care.